State of the Sun Devils with Jeremy Schnell, Jesse Morrison, and Damon Allred.
An Arizona Sports Podcast.
Hello and welcome into another edition of State of the Sun Devils alongside Jesse Morrison and Damon Allred. I'm Jeremy Schnell. It is game week here for college football. Week 1, week 0 already happened, and now ASU is set to take on NAU in the first game of the season on Saturday. We will get to that. When we get to Saturday, we're going to have a pregame show live from Mountain America Stadium that you can listen to. You can find on all forms of your social media. We'll tweet it out. We'll put it on Instagram. Wherever you need to find your information, that's where we'll put it. And
it'll be on ESPN 620 as well.
Yes.
As this game this weekend will be on ESPN 620.
Correct. Yeah. But this is our season preview episode where we're going to break down what we think is going to happen this season.
And Jeremy Schnell, you don't look quite ready.
What do you mean?
You're not quite in your Arizona sports polo. You missed it.
Yeah.
Missed the memo?
Yeah. What the heck?
You said, see that?
You guys look so beautiful.
Yeah, you were going to give us crap, then we turned it on you. That's how we do it.
Yeah, no.
Greg Norman shark shirt, is that what that is?
It's
big time dad shirt.
Salmon colored.
Big time dad shirt.
If you're not watching the show on our YouTube channel, what are you doing? Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already.
Our beautiful Arizona sports polos.
Yes, absolutely. But thank you for listening as well. We really appreciate that. So, ASU have expectations coming into this season. First time in a long time, guys. Mm-hmm. Will they meet those expectations, Jesse?
I think they will. And here's why I think they will meet those expectations. I think Kenny Dillingham has done a masterful job this offseason of getting them ready to meet those expectations. He has talked about, how last season doesn't matter anymore. Playing. I know, Jeremy, you didn't really like this, but I did personally. Playing "We Are the Champions" over and over again. He's reminded them about past failures of Arizona State teams in years with expectations. I think having all that stuff drilled into them is going to make them come out and prepared. I don't think they want to be known as the team that was just kind of a one-hit wonder. I think they want to come out and achieve greater than they did last year.
Greatest one-hit wonders in history. Are we going to do that top 5 list real quick, Jesse?
I don't have time to do that, but I'll work on it.
Yeah, workshop that. Yeah.
But yes, I think that the players, they talk about having goals that they haven't even told us. Like, I think that they have the drive, the passion, the goals, and I think Kenny Dillingham does as well, to be better than they were even last season, which was an amazing year.
Damon.
Yeah, I also think that they will, and it's kind of along similar lines about just the culture that Kenny Dillingham has established here, and really only going into year 3 now. And, I've got a story coming out on ArizonaSports.com about this very subject where, it's the day by day for this team, and nothing is more important than what is going on today. Right now, the team is not thinking about December and what bowl are they going to play in, or are they going to make the Big 12 title game? Who are they going to face in the Big 12 title game?
That's for us to do right now.
Yeah. All they're thinking about right now is just NAU, the game plan against NAU, and how to beat NAU, because that is just the culture that really everyone on the coaching staff, obviously it starts with Dillingham, but everyone on the coaching staff, every one of the player leaders, Sam Leavitt will tell you to your face, all I'm thinking about right now is practicing my best today. And so I think that mentality of the team and really the entire program as a whole, I think that's going to show up in these games where it could be looked at as trap games, which obviously if you ask a coach about a trap game, they're going to tell you, we don't use the term trap game. That's for y'all. And that's exactly what Marcus Arroyo told us today, is just like, it's not even something for us, because then you're losing focus. And one thing that this team cannot do is lose focus.
Jesse, it's something that we talked about when you were gone a couple of weeks ago, and I asked Jeff Munn, why do you think that philosophy works specifically for Kenny Dillingham? Because you hear coaches say all the time, we're focused on this week, we're focused on right now, we're focused on practicing in the moment. Why like sometimes you'll roll your eyes at coaches when they say that, but why does that work for ASU?
I think it's because Kenny is a likable and believable guy. Like, he's younger, he can relate to players well, and he comes off as genuine, he comes off as legitimately passionate. He's not some guy from Iowa, who's just coaching Arizona State, and is like, oh, I'm a big Sun Devil. And it's like, no, you really aren't. You're just here to get your next opportunity. That's not how he comes off. And so I think his dedication and want to for this program leads players to have that same mentality and same buy-in.
I'll take it one step further and just like, not only is he a likable person that gets along with the players and everything, but it's exactly how he lives his life as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I'm only focused on today. I'm not game planning for Mississippi State or any of the Big 12 teams. I'm not worried about what the Big 12 teams are up to, because all that he's focused on right now is NAU. And so when he is shooting down all this talk of, big picture stuff, which is his job to keep his team focused, he knows exactly where to put the team's focus, because he is kind of in that same mental frame a little bit as a guy in his mid-30s as well, too.
Yeah, so he can relate more to the kids, kind of like what Jesse was alluding to as well.
And
Now,
when the players see that
Yeah, go
that's
ahead.
how he lives, they apply it to themselves as well.
And he's also bought into their success. We've talked about this before. Like, he'll support guys that go into the portal. He's on board with the portal and NIL. You hear a lot of coaches complain about that stuff, and he's not doing that. He's fully embraced this, whether he likes it or not. We really don't know, but he's embraced the portal and the NIL in the modern era of college football.
yeah, and that kind of leads me to what ASU's biggest strength is. I'm going to go ahead and start this off. I think it's their depth at very key positions. It's their depth at wide receiver. It's their depth at running back. And then, of course, you have a Heisman candidate in Sam Leavitt that can get it to those playmakers. But I think it's the depth at those positions. And that's not even me saying corner, because that's another position that they have depth
Tight
at.
end.
Exactly. But this year, a lot more depth at key skill positions that's going to help this team if, God forbid, someone goes down with an injury.
My strength is also going to be depth, but for me, it's defensive line depth. Their defensive line is loaded. I would say they basically have two starting defensive lines. I don't know if you would agree with me, Damon.
Their second string defensive line would probably start for a few Power 4 teams, yeah.
Yeah, I think they have pretty much two starting defensive lines. I've seen them get after it this year in fall camp, and especially at that Camp T scrimmage, they were just getting after it. So I think the defensive line as a whole will be their strength, but the depth as well, as part of that defensive line, will be a massive strength for them, because if they lose a guy or two, God forbid, they can, they have a next, they can truly do the next man up mentality, because they have so many good players on that side of the ball.
That's a good time, too, to bring up some big injury news we got earlier this week. The defensive lineman Michael Gardner, who transferred from Oregon this summer, he tore his Achilles tendon while rehabbing from a different injury. And so I'm not sure whether he was going to make the 2 deep. He was probably in that 8 or 9 spot out of 8. He could have cracked it and, could have developed as the season gone on maybe. But for him to just have a season where he can kind of sit back and let the group that's returned, because it is a pretty much fully returning group, kind of go to work. And then he can come in after this season and kind of start fresh a little bit with, a clean mind as well. Obviously, transferring over takes some time to mentally adjust to new systems and things like that. So it's tough to see Gardner go down with that injury, but, opportunity for bright spots in the future. And then my strength is just the wide receiver depth in general, and really just the continuity over the entire team. I think that the way the defense has been communicating this fall has been stunning. Like, it's been November level of communications for what you would expect from a defense, I think. And it is because they have 10 of 11 starters returning, and much of the second string behind them returning as well. I just think that when you have that much continuity on defense, it can be so big, because like what CJ Fight was telling us at Camp T about trusting the guy next to you, I think that is so huge on defense, maybe even more so than offense.
Now we get to the interesting stuff. Our biggest concern And I think if I counted down and I said everybody say it all at once, we would all say offensive line.
Yep.
And specifically center.
Correct. So Ben Coleman looks like he's going to start week 1.
Has been named the starter.
Yes. He's going to start with, well, Kenny likes to do stuff like this where he names someone the starter and then something different happens. But seemingly Ben Coleman's going to be out there to start at center. Mm-hmm. It's been rocky for him, to say the least, throughout camp. He's learning a new position.
Rocky in one way.
Yes.
Because I think he's handled the calling aspect of recognizing defensive rushes and things like that.
And then obviously
he's done all that, the blocking.
He's a good blocker.
A great blocker even, yeah.
It's getting the ball to the quarterback that he's kind of struggled at, but
we saw a bad snap at Camp T, and then he kind of got pulled from starting center, and then that's when the week and a half of Wade Helton and him going back and forth kind of started. And yeah, I mean, in the end, Ben won it out over Wade. I think that the veteran aspect probably plays a big part in that. And just, it's been solid snapping over the last week or so. I think there was maybe one that I saw that was a little high today. But besides that, I think it's definitely been better from where it was.
I'm worried because we talked about this after the Peach Bowl, guys. Mm-hmm. We talked about how this summer or this offseason, they were going to have to address the offensive line. And in some ways they did. They got more depth there. 2 years ago, it was a revolving door, like awful, like terrible injury luck. And then last year, pretty much the same guys all throughout the season. And, that first half against Texas, it reared its ugly head where it wasn't great. Now, if they didn't want to have success this season, that's where it starts on offense. They need to give Sam time. They need to give the running backs time to get out into space. And if they don't, then it's going to be a rough year for this team. It's difficult for you to win games in this conference specifically if you can't score points.
Especially if you look at what Texas Tech added on the defensive line. Like, that's a group that's going to get after you if you're not prepared on offensive line.
The two teams we saw this weekend, I feel like, had pretty strong defensive
lines.
Yeah.
That Kansas State front was scary at the start.
The Big 12 teams that played each other.
Not including Kansas.
Iowa State.
I'm not impressed with Kansas's defense.
Kansas State, you mean? Or
Kansas.
And the 7 points they gave up?
I wasn't impressed.
Okay. I didn't get to tune into that one, but I watched the Iowa State Kansas State game, Farmageddon, yeah. I watched that one, and yeah, both of those defensive lines look tough. Big Orange or whatever they call him, the guy on
Dominique Orange, the Big Citrus.
The Big Citrus, there you go. That's his name. Who had one of the most hilarious flops I've ever seen. If you want to go back and look that up somewhere, it was so funny. A lot of stuff happened during, before, and after that game. Week 0 was wild, let me tell you. But yeah, I mean,
could maybe be an omen for what the Big 12 season's going to look like.
Potentially.
I've seen some national media talking about specifically the Big 12. And how, we've talked about this. No one knows what's going to happen in the Big 12. All we know is that it's going to be wild.
Yeah. Half the teams in it could feasibly win the conference, and you'd not be surprised.
We have a number 47 playing quarterback for BYU.
Yeah,
that's pretty fun.
Everything.
He's not a kicker.
No.
Everything. That's definitely a kicker number.
Everything is on
Bear
the
and
table.
Tiger. You know about the Bachmeyers.
I don't know about this. Yeah,
everything is on the table. But yes, my biggest concern is the offensive line. I hope that what I have seen in the 2 scrimmages I've been to has just been the fact that ASU's defensive line is so good, and that some of these other teams don't have quite the defensive line that ASU has. But I think that I was further concerned by week 0. So yeah, I think that ASU really needs to start attacking the offensive line more, just in the portal and recruiting and everything, because that's why these Big Ten and SEC teams have success, is because they're so big in the trenches. And
why do you think Wisconsin has had incredible running backs commit to their school?
Their offensive line is huge.
Yes.
I've seen them where they have 5 300-pounders across
incredible.
The way. So
it starts in the trenches.
Oh, well, ASU's going to have 5 300-pounders too.
Yeah.
We could look at this roster.
Yes, but
they're big guys.
And they're good. But it starts with the ball going to the quarterback, and hopefully it gets there.
Yeah, and the center thing I'm concerned about. I kind of, from what Damon was telling me, like it seemed like Wade was doing potentially a better job than Ben
Strictly
was.
at the snapping.
Yeah, strictly at the snapping. So I'm a little bit concerned. I'm really, intrigued this weekend in particular to see if, how the snaps look.
Yeah, I mean, if ASU, this is looking ahead a little bit too much, but if ASU is ahead by a lot at halftime, will we see Wade Helton in the second half? That'll be interesting to see. But Damon, going back to what we talked about a few weeks ago, it's all about putting the best 5 out there. And I think when you said that, it all kind of clicked to me because Ben Coleman needs to
When Kenny said that.
Yeah. But when you brought it up, it was like, okay, Ben Coleman needs to be out there somehow, and all 4 of these other guys have to be out there.
Yep. And so we settled into exactly the 3 returning guys in their same spots with Josh Atkins at left tackle, Kyle Scott at right guard, and Maxiana Chora at right tackle. And then Ben Coleman coming over from left guard and being replaced by Texas State transfer Jameto Abibo, who has had some false start issues earlier in spring and early in fall, but I don't think I've seen any of them in the last few weeks from him. So I think he seems to have maybe turned that leaf over. I think that...
No pun intended.
Yeah. I think that if you look at the guys who returned from that Texas game, yes, there were alarming moments in that Texas game, but it was against a ridiculously good rush. And I think that these are, 21-year-olds that are going to improve when they're 22. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of situation.
Jesse, let's say the offensive line does its job this season. Mm-hmm. Does Sam Leavitt have a chance to win the Heisman Trophy?
I think he has a chance to win the Heisman Trophy. Do I think he'll win the Heisman Trophy? I'm going to say no, because usually when you go into the season and there's like a few guys that have Heisman hype going into the season, those guys usually don't win it. There's going to be somebody that comes out of...
What do you mean? Travis Hunter won last year.
I mean, true, but, but Ginty was very close to winning. Sure. I think you're going to have somebody come out of the blue that we haven't really known that much about or isn't really on the radar as far as Heisman candidate. I think that player will end up winning. It'll probably be somebody from the SEC or Big Ten. But yes, I do think that I don't think he'll win, but I do think he'll be a finalist. I think he'll be in New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be great for the school. Is that too much pressure on one guy, though? Like,
no.
Are we putting too much pressure on him?
I think he wants it.
Yeah, I know you see him almost every day, Damon.
He says his goal is Heisman and national championship. I think he's fine with that.
He has been putting things like Heisman on his mirror on like Post-it notes way before he even got to ASU. This is just who he is. He is a guy that wants to be the best, that is very headstrong about his ability to work to become the best. And like one of the lines Kenny Dillingham had Monday about a completely different other topic was some people hope that things happen and other people go out and make them happen. Sam is a person who goes out and if he wants to be the Heisman, he goes and puts in the work to do all that, to put in the film work.
Put himself in the correct position to succeed.
Which I'm not going to pick him to win it. And maybe...
Oh, who's your Heisman pick, Damon?
Well, it's Cade Klubnik.
Oh, come on.
I mean, that one makes a lot of sense, too.
He's so good.
He's okay.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. Did you see the way he diced up Texas, if we're wanting to refer back to the Texas games?
I also do... I think that Sam and Cade Klubnik aren't too far off.
No, I don't think they're that far off, but I do think he's going to be the number one pick, and I think that Sam will be a finalist and has every chance to be a top 10 pick and a first-round pick or whatever he wants to be.
Here's what I'll say.
But
my prediction, he's not a Heisman finalist, but he's a top 5 pick in the 2026 NFL draft.
Interesting.
Oh, I thought that was going to he's not a Heisman finalist, he's a Heisman winner.
Hey, don't put the words in my mouth, but it could happen.
It could happen. It could feasibly happen.
Along the same token, becoming an All-American is really tough.
Yeah.
How many do you think this team has?
Well, Jordan Tyson was the only one on the preseason list.
Yeah.
3.
Who are your 3?
Sam
Tyson, Leavitt.
Jordan Tyson, and Xavier Alford.
That's
There are
interesting.
some really good safeties, man.
Yeah.
I know. but
That would take a heck of a season.
I think those will be the three that we see from ASU.
There's some really good receivers too, and it would take a heck of a season from Jordan Tyson.
Yeah. I mean,
think
if
he'll have
Tyson
it if
drops
he
off
stays
even a little
healthy.
bit.
If he stays healthy, that is a concern. If I had a second biggest concern on here, it would be Jordan Tyson's
Which
health.
I don't think we've talked about this that much on this show yet this fall. Jordan Tyson has looked incredible in camp.
We have, but you can do it again. I'm fine with that.
I think that
Again, we're putting expectations on these guys.
I
but
think
I think it's fine.
he can totally handle it. I
Yeah.
mean, the tutelage of Hines Ward, I think there's arguably no one better suited for someone in a position like Jordan, where he has all these expectations, and there have been so much growth for how he's become one of the hardest workers on the team, like up there with Sam, on the just off-season work that has
Having
gone
fun
in.
working harder than everyone in the country.
There you go. There's the
you
motto. And like you guys have seen recently, he's huge. He's
Yeah.
legitimately like 6'1" or 2", and legitimately like over 210 pounds probably.
Yeah.
And he's moving just as fluidly as he was last year. I think people should be so excited for what they're going to see from Jordan Tyson.
As
And
long as he can stay healthy.
Yeah, and the way they move him around the field, he's doing literally everything in this playbook.
That's exciting. I'm excited. This season's going to be fun, guys. And I can't wait to get there on Saturday, talk about this game on our pregame show, and watch some football because we've been waiting a long time.
Some football.
It feels like, with the unfinished business of last season when, ASU felt like they shouldn't have had to stop playing when they did.
It was
right?
targeting.
All right, dude.
But, they had to, they lost. I think this season is going to be a lot of just fun.
There you go.
and excitement, and hopefully a continuance of what last season should and could have been.
Do you guys see any All-Americans other than who I named?
I just have Tyson. Yeah,
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
just Tyson for me.
CJ Fight, maybe.
Yeah,
that was the other name that I
friend
thought about
of the
putting in
program, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, CJ Fight.
Yeah.
Look out for him.
All right, game by game predictions. You guys ready?
Yep.
Well, I just want to make a point real quick.
Okay, there's a point to be made, so make it.
Because last season, for lack of a better word, it did a lot for the program.
Of course.
But do you know what a second season would do? Just in terms of the recruiting, in terms of the national branding that Kenny
Powerhouse.
recently talked about. Legitimately, if you have another playoff type of season at Arizona State after the season that they just had, and you do it without Cam Scattaboo, who everyone is telling you that you did it because of this guy, and then you go out and do it again, I think that would be amazing for the program. And I think that if it does happen, that Kenny Dillingham is on an incredible track.
Again, you go from one-hit wonder to powerhouse.
Yes.
That's what happens.
And then, I've said this before, next season is the litmus test. Can they sustain?
Can they move on from Sam Leavitt
Yeah.
and sustain
true.
after that?
Yeah. All right. Game on Saturday. NAU. Week 1. Not week 0. That already happened. Week 1. Jesse. Who
They're
you got?
going to win.
Jesse
ASU.
has a win.
Damon has a win.
Jeremy has a win. I think this game is going to be a blowout, and I think we see some of the...
We'll get more into that on Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. At Mississippi State. Cowbells are ringing. Jesse.
Clanging.
I've said this to you guys, and I think I've said it on Wolf and Luke. This will be their toughest road environment that they've faced since playing Utah in 2023 on the road. This is going to be quite the atmosphere. It's a big stadium down there, lots of cowbells ringing, but I still think ASU is going to come away with the win. I know preseason polls don't really matter that much, but Mississippi State's not supposed to be very good.
Win.
Okay. I think it's going to be close. I think it's actually going to be really close.
Really?
I think probably a 2-score game.
Yeah. I think it's a 1-score game, and I think ASU pulls
Jeremy
it out.
loves to pick close games. I think he just wants to see close games. because
I
it's
don't.
more
I would
fun.
rather ASU
He's
blow
an odds
everybody
maker.
out,
He wants the action.
but, Texas State. Good team. Good team.
JP Dieter, shout
Not bad.
out.
Yeah, not bad.
GJ Kinney,
Gave
shout out.
him a fight last year. Really did.
Yeah.
On a Thursday.
We're about to
Right?
win the game. Yeah.
Yeah. But this time they're coming to Tempe. What do you think, Jesse?
Win for ASU.
Damon?
Win.
Me too. I have them winning that one. All right. Gets tricky. They got to go on the road. They got to play in Waco. They got to go to Baylor.
Yep.
What do
It
you
gets
got?
hard right off the
What do you
bat
got,
in the Big
Jesse?
12.
This one will be close, but ASU pulls out the win.
So this is the beginning of a 5-week stretch where ASU maybe has its toughest 5-week stretch in terms of at Baylor, home TCU, bye week at Utah, then home Texas Tech. That is probably the biggest combination of consecutive hard games, and the only break you get is a bye week. And from that sense, I think you got to be a little worried. I will say, though, Baylor's second-string running back, who's one of the best second-string running backs in the country, is, I believe, out for the year. Mm-hmm. And so that will help ASU's case. That's why I'm going with a win. Or part of why I'm going with a win.
I'm going with a loss here. This is their first loss of the season. I think Baylor is going to be significantly better than they were last year. Obviously, they finished the season strong last season. And I think they have a good team, and it's going to be a tough environment to play in. So this is where I have ASU losing.
Sawyer Robertson.
TCU, Friday night game, short week. In my opinion, coming off a loss. So that's why I have them winning this game. Jesse, go ahead.
I think they're going to win. Home game on a Friday night. It's going to be hopping at Mount America Stadium. I'm going to go with ASU.
I think that Josh Hoover is sneakily one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the conference. He was, I think, first or second in passing yards last year, and I don't think he gets enough credit. I think TCU's kind of sneaky. I think they finished 8-4 last regular season or somewhere close to it. I'm going with a loss. This is, to me, the sneakiest game on the schedule, especially coming back to Tempe from a road game on a short week. Obviously, it's a short week for TCU, too, and they're going on the road. But I just think that that's maybe one that you can afford to lose going into a bye.
All right. After the bye, they go to Utah. Always tough place to play. They have a great coaching staff. They have
great offensive line.
They have a quarterback that they don't, they're going to have a starting quarterback where they don't have to worry about Cam Rising coming back. Is he coming back? Is he not?
The Cam Rising saga is over.
Jesse, what do you got?
Yeah, I think ASU goes on the road and conquers their demon. I think this has been kind of their biggest demon over the past decade or so.
Going to Utah.
Yeah, going to Utah has been their biggest demon. And I think they're going to conquer it. Devin Dampier's good, but I don't think he's great. And I think ASU's the class of the conference again. I don't think Utah is going to be able to, what conquers a good offensive line? A great defensive line. So I think ASU wins this one. I think it'll be close. Again, this is the first game that really scares me. But I do think ASU will pull out the win.
Damon.
I think that's pretty bold. To your good, not great line about Dampier, what happens when you put a good quarterback behind a great offensive line?
They become better. They might become great.
I am not going to put this one as a loss, but I do just want to say Devon Dampier needs to be respected, especially as a Valley product.
I said he was good.
No, I know. I'm just saying I think he's very, very good. I think he could be one of the best quarterbacks in the conference this year.
I have ASU pulling out the win. It's not going to be like a very cold night. Like it's not toward the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to have to battle those demons and the snow probably. So I think ASU squeaks out a victory here. All right. The one that everybody's afraid of, Texas Tech, the team that, if there was a preseason poll, would probably be number 2 in the preseason poll for Big 12. Jesse, with all the new additions, what do you think happens in the Texas Tech game?
Texas Tech, again, really scares me. Baron Morton is a heck of a quarterback when he's healthy, but we're not sure if he can stay healthy for an entire season. That is
he only has to make it 6 games.
That is something that, What'd you say?
He only has to make it 6 games to get to the ASU game.
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know what his status will be, but I could
say the exact same thing about Sam Leavitt.
That's true. I know, but that's just a factor I'm taking into this. They had a big running back transfer that is now out for the season.
Yes or no?
At Texas
yes
Tech.
or no?
So
Win or loss?
I think ASU being at home wins this game.
I think continuity at home beats out talent acquisition on the road. And so that's why I win.
I don't think Texas Tech is going to be as good as people think they are this season. And I think ASU rolls in this game.
I just think it's going to take a second. Like they're not going to gel right away.
I agree. I mean, like, listen, the first, like, this is the week 6 for Texas Tech. Maybe at the end of the season they pull it together and they win some games toward the end of the season, but I think this is too early on for things to gel.
Maybe a little ASU beats Texas Tech in the regular season, and then the Texas Tech gets their money back in the Big 12 title game. Then a 2-bid league.
I don't know about that, but
could be fun.
Houston coming to town. 2 straight weeks with a home game for ASU.
Houston win.
Win.
Okay, we can move through that.
That's all we got. Yeah, Houston not very good.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, no one knows what's going to happen in the Big 12. So like
everyone thought ASU was going to be.
They could be good. Who knows? Jesse, this is the one that you've been telling me that you're scared about.
Yep.
Iowa State
on the road in November 1st, going to be cold. There might be some sort of, it would be absolutely awful if it's cold and rainy or something that day.
Cold and snowing.
And I don't know if it would snow at that point in the year, but it probably could. That environment is a tough place to play. Jack Trice Stadium.
Rocco Becht.
I think it's going to be a revenge game for Iowa State. I think this is the game that ASU loses, and they do not go undefeated because of it.
Well, I would like you to know that Google AI says it doesn't snow in Ames that early in the year.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
But cold rain might be worse than snow.
Just having experience.
You never want to go to Corvallis in November.
Exactly. This is the new Corvallis with a better team.
Having gone through what the ASU media had to endure the last few days at practice, where practice was inside the Verde Dickey Dome, which is usually wonderfully air-conditioned. Kenny did not want it to be wonderfully air-conditioned within the last week or so. He cranked up the humidity as much as he could to get the team ready for monsoon-type situations. I can only imagine what tricks he'll conjure up when it's time to go play in the cold.
Great point.
He might just put, like, insane amounts of ice in the bubble, and then it's just, like, 40 degrees.
It's like what they're doing with the Winter Classic this year in Florida.
Yeah. Nevertheless, I think that this one will be a loss.
Really?
ASU. Yeah, I think Iowa State's very physical in a way where ASU playing its 9th game in 10 weeks could kind of feel that physicality.
I have a W.
Okay.
I think they win this game.
Really?
I wasn't impressed with them on Saturday, Iowa State.
Okay. They did win.
But I wasn't impressed. And I wasn't impressed when I saw them last year when I went to the Big 12 championship game.
That was last year. This is this year.
I don't think they will be ready for ASU.
Okay, I definitely think they'll be ready for ASU. I think they'll be the most ready for ASU of any team they face.
I'm saying
year.
I don't think they will be ready for what ASU brings to the table.
Okay.
Oh, do you remember how last year it was you can't run on Iowa State, but you can pass on them?
Yeah.
Was that the scouting report?
Yeah. And they did both.
You know what ASU is going to do really well this year? Pass, and especially downfield. That's kind of a factor.
West Virginia, the Ron Wolfley battle.
The Fighting Rich Rods, searching to burn couches.
Jesse?
Sorry, Wolf, if you're watching this, but I think ASU is better than West Virginia. I do think West Virginia will be pretty good this year. Having Rich Rod back is going to help. I like their quarterback at West Virginia, but yeah, I'm gonna go with ASU.
Hamilton product, that quarterback.
Yeah, Hamilton product. I have trouble saying his last name, so I'm not going to.
I think it's Markiel.
Yeah. There you go.
I'll take your word for it.
So I'm going to go with West Virginia. I'm not going to go with West Virginia. I'm going to go with ASU in this one. I think.
Wow,
ASU
put that down as a loss for ASU, Jeremy.
I think ASU will handle them pretty well.
Damon.
That's a win for me. I think that this. So there is a ceiling for ASU where they go 12-0. I do think that's within the realm of possibility. And I think that if you get through the first 9 games and then you get to this last bye week before a 3-game set of home West Virginia, at Colorado, home Arizona, the hype around this team potentially getting to that 12-0 will be kind of insane, even nationally speaking, because by that point they'd probably be ranked top 5 and everything that comes with that. I think that it could be just a wonderful calendar of, oh, can ASU deal with the trap game? Oh, can ASU deal with the trap game? In this sense, I think ASU gets the win over West Virginia.
I do too. Now they go to Colorado, who a lot of people think are going to struggle this season.
Named as starting quarterback today. Did you see this?
No, who got named the quarterback?
Caden Salter.
Really? They didn't go with Lewis?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That makes sense.
I
thought they should go with Salter, but I thought maybe the NIL would tell them that they needed to go with Lewis.
I don't think Dion's going to listen to what the NIL has to say.
So we were actually talking about this a little bit at practice
Dion's going to do
today.
what Dion wants to do.
This could be Salter is a transfer, and you know how much transfer quarterbacks who have proven they can play get on the market?
A lot. Millions. Millions.
Like, I think over 3 million is where he was at, which is, I think, right around where Sam Leavitt's at. And so I think it's hard to bench people you pay many millions of dollars to.
All right, what do you got? Who's winning this game? ASU at Colorado.
ASU.
Yeah, this one could be tough, or I could see
freezing.
Or I could see Colorado having like one win coming in and everything going out of control.
One?
There. Yeah, like here's the thing with Colorado. I feel like they're either like really good or not very good at all.
They have a very low floor and a very high ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. They have a very low floor, a very high ceiling. But I still think ASU is just gonna be the better team. I don't necessarily love how Dion's running stuff over there. Like no slides to class. Like why is that a rule in 2025?
What's wrong with that?
I mean, I understand the professionalism there, but like if you're wearing like
bagging on the guy that just beat cancer.
It's nothing to do with that. But
nothing to do with that.
I rarely wore sandals to class either way. Like
but like
gotta hold D1 athletes to the same standards as Jeremy Schnell.
Yeah. Like I am very happy that Dion beat cancer.
Yeah, no, but
I like Deion Sanders. I'm not a hater.
Yeah. Win or loss, Jesse?
Oh, I said win.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would like to say I think Colorado will win at least 5 games this year.
Wow.
I don't think that this will be one of them.
Okay.
Good job, Damon.
I think ASU wins this as well. All right.
I don't think they're winning one game.
Territorial Cup week. Damon, you have them with 2 losses coming into this one. Jesse has them with 1 loss coming into this one, and I have them with 1 loss coming into this one. So they probably have already clinched a spot in the Big 12 championship game at this point. A loss would not mean much to them in mine and Jesse's world.
Well,
yeah, I guess
it's the Territorial Cup. It will mean a lot to them. It might mean more than
no, but I'm saying, but
also if it means potentially matching what you did last year.
Correct. So, Damon, do they get 10 wins?
I think yes, and I also think that there is a scenario where the Big 12 is a 2-bid league, and I think that it involves ASU being like 10 or 11 wins, and then the other team being 12 wins maybe, or 11 wins, and then beating ASU in the title game, but ASU having enough of a pedigree at that point where, you know, they can still get in off the strength of 10 or 11 wins. And their preseason expectations, obviously there's been a lot of narrative about, you know, did their preseason expectations last year put a cap on what they could be in the national perception? I do think that in this case, they get to 10 wins, they get to the Big 12 title game, and who knows what happens there.
Yeah, I think ASU beats Arizona pretty easily in this year, and I think that it might be like the game where Brent Brennan coaches his last game for the Wildcats.
Oh, that reminds me. We got to talk about Jesus Gomez.
Okay. We'll do that in just a second.
Sorry.
I think ASU wins this one. It's going to be a fun celebration. ASU will win the regular season Big 12 title at home and win the Territorial Cup at the same time and be heading back to Dallas, Fort Worth. Where is this stadium? Fort Worth, right?
I think you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Arlington?
Arlington.
There you go.
for the Big 12 championship.
Texas geography on the
Yes.
State of the Sun Devils show.
So I have them 11-1. Jesse has them 11-1.
Yep.
Damon has them 10-2.
Do we want to go further than this?
No.
Like, do we want to say
No.
where
No,
we see
we
them
can get
finishing
there
off?
when we get
Okay.
there.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jesus Gomez.
yeah, so-
you had to interrupt.
I have something else to add to it.
Jeez,
after this
come
game is
on.
over.
Remember when we talked about biggest strengths?
Yeah.
I think
Oh.
their biggest strength is Jesus Gomez. I think that he's
Yes.
he's gonna be somewhere between like 75 and 90% on field goals this year, and probably make like 15 to 20.
Don't forget they have Chief Keef as the backup.
Yeah,
too.
Karsten Kiefer backing him up. Looks better than he looked last year for
Good.
sure. But I think everything is on Jesus's plate. Just as far as when you compare, I don't know if you saw the stat that was in my story that just recently came out on ArizonaSports.com presented by Y-Refi. But the ASU last year on field goals from at least 30 yards out was 4 for 12. And Jesus Gomez was 14 for 19. So he made more than ASU attempted. Now, obviously, Kenny Dillingham isn't going to just kick a field goal just because it's fourth down. He said on Monday that there's still going to be times where if it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2, if it's a high percentage look, you're going to see them go for it just because that's in their nature. That's how he thinks good football teams should operate. But for Jesus Gomez to just give the team a totally new dimension that it didn't have last year, I think will be huge.
All right, real quick, my thing to add is I don't know if anybody saw this, but a guy by the name of David Murray at DMurray40 on Twitter, he posted College Game Day didn't make it to Dublin this year, but my sign still did at ASU football. He brought a Sam Leavitt for Heisman trophy or for Heisman sign to the Week 0 game in Dublin for Kansas State and Iowa State.
National program.
Activate the globe.
International program.
Yeah, exactly.
I just thought that was cool.
Yeah. That's going to do it for this edition of State of the Sun Devils. Thank you so much for listening and watching. You can find us on all forms of social media at AZ Sports Devils. You can listen to and watch our pregame show right before the regular pregame show on ESPN 620 and on the Arizona Sports YouTube channel.
3 hours before kick.
Yep, we'll be at 4 o'clock on Saturday.
Yep, and we'll tweet that out, and you'll be able to click on the link there. For Jesse Morrison, Damon Allred, I'm Jeremy Schnell. We'll see you soon.